أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, very happy Eid to all of you. Eid Mubarak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our siyam, qiyam and all the ibadah that we performed in this blessed month of Ramadan. Let's make a special dua today for our brothers and sisters in Palestine and Gaza who are going through some unprecedented operation. They have been put through this human imposed starvation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them strength and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them. Let's make dua for people who are oppressed all around the world. And I'm glad that I have with me some elected officials and candidates who are here to greet us today. And Adams is a 501c3 organization. We don't endorse any candidate or any party. We encourage civic engagement and civic participation. So with that, I would like to invite to speak Delegate Atusa Reeser. Please help me welcome Delegate Atusa Reeser.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, it is wonderful to be back with you again this year and to wish you an Eid Mubarak. I am Atusa Reeser, your representative in the Virginia House of Delegates for all of Eastern Loudoun County, which includes this location of the Adams Mosque and all of Sterling. As I offer you peace and blessings for this new year, I'm reminded that until there is lasting peace and freedom in the Holy Land, there is no peace or freedom for any of us. So I pray along with you that peace is the will of the most powerful and the most merciful. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Atusa Reeser, for your service. We appreciate it. Next, we have Senator Jennifer Basco. She's senator from our area. She is also a candidate for 10th Congressional District for upcoming election on June 18th. Election is on June 18th, but the early voting starts from May 3rd. So we definitely encourage our community to go and vote in large numbers. That's the way for us to make a difference. That's the way for us to make our voices heard. With that, please help me welcome Senator Jennifer Basco.
Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak. I am State Senator Jennifer Boysko. I have represented this community for almost 10 years and have been working collaboratively with people from the Adams Center for nearly 21 years. I was the first person in the General Assembly, and I believe the first elected official in Virginia to call for a ceasefire in October, because peace is the path to solidarity and to... And I pledge to you, as I have pledged in 2003, calling for an end to the war in Iraq, that I will not stop until we have a diplomatic and peaceful solution and an end to the violence for all of our loved ones, our friends, our neighbors. Our humanity depends upon it. And I thank you for letting me speak to you today. I am happy to be with you once again. This is a place that I consider my second home, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Jennifer Basco, for your public service. We really appreciate it. Jazakumullah khair wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Eid Mubarak to everyone.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Everybody repeat this dua after me. We're going to read it 3 times. Prophet ﷺ said it's beneficial to read this dua 3 times in the morning, 3 times evening, but we might as well take advantage of it. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi adada halqihi wa rida nafsihi wa zinata arshihi wa midada kalimatihi. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi adada halqihi wa rida nafsihi wa zinata arshihi wa midada kalimatihi ya zul jalali wal ikram. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi adada halqihi wa rida nafsihi wa zinata arshihi wa midada kalimatihi ya hayyu ya qayyum. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allah. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. Everybody come on, read it together. We never know we're going to come get the next seed or not, so might as well take advantage of this one. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd.
Assalamualaikum, brothers and sisters. There is a huge line of people still trying to get into the masjid, and some people who need to make announcements are in that line. So just keep making takbirat for now for a few more minutes. Inshallah, we'll start very soon, inshallah.
Please do not leave any gap in the middle, guys. Please do not leave any gap in the middle. You will get ajr for that, to get you another brother get in with you to pray. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
While we're waiting, we have a treat. Brother Kai would like to take his shahada. So we will welcome him with open arms to the community. After the prayer, please embrace him, welcome him. And Brother Kai, tell us a little something about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Louisa, Virginia. I go to Shenandoah University. I play football. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long have you been in the Northern Virginia area?
For about like 6-7 months now. Since like last summer, sort of. So almost like about coming up a year.
And how long have you been looking at Islam?
Probably for about like 2 years now. I took a class in college and got really deep into it. So like research, and my teacher was Muslim. So like I asked him a lot of questions and like how like the Prophet of Muhammad, just stuff like that. He just broke down a lot of the language and how like it means a lot. Like I like getting connected to your God, just praying. It just makes me feel better about myself.
And so you're familiar with the 5 pillars of Islam and all of its conditions. So what we'll do is I'm going to say the Shahada slowly in Arabic, and then we're going to say it in English. So just kind of repeat after me. Ashhadu
Ashhadu
an la
alla
ilaha
ilaha
illallah
illallah
wa ashhadu
wa ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammadan
Muhammadan
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
I bear witness
that
there is no God
there is no God
but Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. Congratulations, you're a Muslim. Takbir. Please embrace Brother Kai. After the prayer, continue to make takbirat. We're still waiting for the announcements. If they're not here very shortly, then we'll just continue. We'll just go ahead and start the khutbah. We'll give it just a couple more minutes, inshallah. Yeah, please make space. Please make space for Brother Kai. إذا قيل لكم تفسحوا في المجالس فافسحوا. When it's said to make space in the gatherings, make space. Allah will make space for you. So we'll give it 2 minutes, and then we'll start. Bismillah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start. Inshallah, just a couple things about the Eid prayer. Eid prayer is a little bit different from normal prayers. As you stand up and get ready, just keep listening in case anyone's not familiar. The Eid prayer is 2 rak'ats. It's a sunnah prayer. And the main difference is that there's some extra takbirat in the first and second rak'ah. There's different ways of doing this in different madhahib. And so if it's not the way that you're used to, don't worry about it, because the extra takbirat are only sunnah, and they're not even a rukn of the prayer. Even if someone forgot them, the prayer is still accepted. But in the Shafi'i madhab, what we'll do is after the takbirul ihram, we'll make 7 additional takbirat. And then we'll begin with the recitation. And then we'll come up for the second ruku'. After the takbir to come up for ruku', we'll make 5 additional takbirat. And then also there's no iqama, there's no adhan. So we'll just start. Now, this is really important. Please listen. First of all, if you have a cell phone, just take out your cell phone right now and make sure it's on silent or airplane mode. Nothing more distracting than a song going off and we're standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praying. So please be respectful of the sacredness of this moment. Also, if you don't want to stay for the khutbah will be just 15 minutes afterwards. If you don't want to stay for that, that's fine. But please do not talk. It is very difficult to hear even with a microphone. Especially in the back, it's already difficult for sisters to hear. So if anyone talks, no one hears. So if you want to say salam and congratulate each other, you don't want to stay for the khutbah, that's fine. Silently go outside, embrace one another, talk outside. But don't start talking inside the musalla. Don't start saying Eid Mubarak inside the musalla as you're walking out. Just stay silent, walk out, and then talk, okay? So we'll begin, inshallah, for the Eid prayer. Stand for prayer, inshallah. استووا صفوفكم. Please straighten the lines, fill any gaps. Allahu Akbar. 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 Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا
الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. 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 بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر التحية لله والصلوات والطيبات السلام عليكم السلام علينا وعلى الصالحين أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله اللهم صل على اللهم بارك إنك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله الله أكبر 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 لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد بسم الله والحمد لله نحمده سبحانه وتعالى ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله جاء بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون ولو كره المشركون ولو كره من كره وبعد أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله كما قال الله في كتابه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Brothers and sisters in Islam, God is greater. Allahu Akbar. God is greater than everything. God is greater than ourselves. God is greater than food. God is greater than sleep. Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than anything that you can think of. And we begin in His name. We praise Him. We thank Him. We bear witness that there is no God but Him. And that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His last and final messenger. and we advise one another to God conscientiousness. Brothers and sisters, the view from up here is beautiful. Because what I see is a manifestation of Allah's words. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. From His signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the differences in your complexions, and the differences in your tongues. And we see that only Islam can bring people together like this. And what I want to mention is a few things about gratitude. Because you know, this month was all about taqwa. And in the verses of the Quran, when Allah talks about Ramadan, and the revelation of the ayat about Ramadan, in the very beginning He says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. It's also you can obtain God conscientiousness, taqwa. But you know at the very end of the verses what He says? وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. It's so that you can praise Allah as we just did, and that you can be grateful. You see, in the beginning it's taqwa, but at the end when it's over, it's gratitude. And so today it's over. Today's about gratitude. So I want to mention 3 things as a community that we should be grateful for. And the first of it is the community itself. SubhanAllah, brothers and sisters, you've seen it this Ramadan. There was an electrifying energy in the community. And I've never, even for an Eid prayer, even if you came 15 minutes early, there was a line going all the way out to the road for people trying to get in here to pray. Islam in America is good. This is the power of our community. Subhanallah. Even for the Salatul Kusuf, if anyone came a couple days ago, the masjid was packed for a sunnah prayer, for a fasting community on a Monday afternoon. Subhanallah, this community is blessed. And the blessing of community and being grateful for it, I just want to say a few things about it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold on to the rope of God, all of you together. You know what's beautiful about that metaphor? If we hold on to the rope, the rope of God is your connection with God. It's your covenant with God. And if you're holding on to that, but everyone else is holding on to it, you're connected with God, you're all connected with each other as well. That means as a community, the basis of our connection with each other is our connection with Allah. And that is first and foremost. And we have to always remember that as a community, that there is no connection with one another unless there's a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ. Right? You were on the brink of a pit of fire. Meaning any other connection other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doomed to end. Whether it's race or language, or where a person was born, or the job you have, none of that creates a real community. Only the connection of the heart to Allah creates ta'leef, connection, real connection with one another. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, is that He did that. لَوْ أَنفَقْتَ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. If you would have spent everything in the heavens and the earth, you would not have created this connection between the hearts. Only the love of Allah can connect the hearts. The dunya connects anything else, but only the love of Allah connects the hearts of people. And that is the blessing. That is the blessing of community. Rumi said something beautiful in one of his poems in the Masnavi. He said, Hamzabani khishio peyvandi ast. Marbo namahraman chon bandi ast. He said, when you can speak the same language, it's nice, you can connect with people. And if you can't, sometimes it's like you're in handcuffs. Right? A baso Hindu, a Turk, a Hamzaban, a baso do Turk chon biganagan. But how often is it you see an Indian and a Turk, it seems like they know each other very well. And 2 Turks, they speak the same language, and they're strangers to one another. Pas zaban mahrimi khud digar ast, hamdali az hamzabani behtar ast. That's because it's better to be of one heart than of one tongue. And as a community, it is better that our hearts be united in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if our languages are different, if our complexions are different, because it's only with the united hearts that we truly have a community. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave us the formula for it. He gave us the formula for community. He said, مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فِي تَوَاضِّهِمْ وَتَرَاحُمِهِمْ وَتَعَاطُفِهِمْ. The example of believers and how they love one another, are merciful to one another, and how they have empathy for one another. There's your formula for community. Love, mercy, and empathy. If you have that, you have a community. He said that's like a body. كَمَثَلِ الْجَسَدِ إِذَا اشْتَكَى مِنْهُ عُدْوًا. If one part of it is hurt, تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى. The rest of the body stays up at night and complains. Yes, we have a community here in Sterling, but our ummah is bigger than this. And when you go home today and you break your fast, or you have food, and we've already broken your fast. But you have food, you enjoy time with your family, don't forget our community in Palestine. Don't forget your brothers and sisters in Gaza. Don't forget them, because they're a part of it. And you should hurt. They're a limb of this ummah. And we should all feel that pain. Make dua for them as you enjoy time with your family as well. The second thing to be grateful for, brothers and sisters, the second thing that we have to be grateful for is family. In the Quran, when Allah talks about tawheed and holding on to that rope, the very next rope that we have to hold on to is family. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And it begins with our parents. And being good to them. And having ihsan towards them. And not just taqwa. Allah didn't say tuqa. Allah said ihsan, which is to go above and beyond the means of goodness. Right? And subhanAllah, from His signs, He said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. From His signs is that from amongst your spouses, He put love and mercy between you, and serenity and tranquility. That's not something you can evolve into, brothers and sisters. There's no genetic code for tranquility. This is something Allah has put between us, because this is an important part of community. Families. A healthy family is the basis of a healthy community. Right? And from the dua that He told us to make, du'as that He told us to make, the Ibadur Rahman, is that رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. Oh Allah, make from our spouses and our children the coolness of our eyes. You know, the Arabs, they say تَسْخِينُ الْعَيْن, the heat of the eyes is when a person is sad. The eye is so hot, it begins to pour tears to cool off. But the happiness of the eyes is when it's cool. It's a metaphor in Arabic. Is when it's cool, cold, right? And what you see in your families should be that coolness of your eyes, right? And in a time, in a society, brothers and sisters, where family is attacked from all angles. Children are being taught that they don't even know what gender they are. People are being told that they can marry whoever and whatever they want. And this is a sacred connection that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made. And it's being attacked from all angles. And if the family falls apart, watch out. Because that is the moral fabric of society. That is the moral fabric of society. إِلَّمْ تَسْتَحِي فَاسْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ, the Prophet says. If you're not going to be modest, do whatever you want. And that's a threat that he says. Because society is going to fall apart. And as the Muslim community that we just talked about, we have to be the paragon of the right example of what it means to honor family. What it means to have rights for family. What it means to preserve family the way it was meant to be preserved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third thing that I'll mention that we have to be grateful for is the Quran. This was the month of the Quran. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Right? And these brothers and sisters, these words, these are the words of Allah. Allah said in Surah Luqman, لو أن ما في الأرض من شجرة أقلام والبحر يمده من بعده سبعة أبحر. If the trees, just listen, just think about this metaphor. If the trees on earth were pens, and the sea was ink, and then you added 7 more seas behind that as ink, ما نفدت كلمات الله. The words of Allah would never end. The words to glorify Him and to praise Him would never end. And He has given us His own words till the end of time. And these words, brothers and sisters, they're like drops of rain. This is the metaphor in the Quran over and over again. They're like drops of rain. Just like rain revives a dead heart, these words, rain revives a dead earth, these words revive a dead heart. Just like rain does. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he used to make a dua, Allahumma ja'al hadha al-Quran rabi'a qalbi. What a beautiful dua. Make this Quran the light, rabi'ahu al-mataru khafif alladhi yuhyi bil-ard. The light rain that revives our hearts. And what a beautiful metaphor for spring. We're all now in this season where the earth is coming back to life. Right? And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he's telling us essentially just like the rain is now bringing the earth back to life and you're seeing all kinds of color and greenery, the Quran is like that rain for our hearts. And we have to take that rain that we just revived our hearts with in this month and continue to nourish our heart with it for the rest of the year. Don't lose your connection to the Quran, brothers and sisters. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله فاستغفروه إن كان غفارا. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka hamidun majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka hamidun majid. So these are just three things: community, family, and the Quran. We have to be grateful for these things. But you can't count the blessings of God. If you were to try to count the blessings of God, you would never be able to count them. You would never be able to count them, right? But what we have to do is just be grateful. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you're grateful, I will increase you. That's why the scholars, they say that shukr, gratitude, is al-hafidh. It's the preserver. لِأَنَّهُ يَحْفُظُ النِّعَمْ الْمَوْجُودَةِ. Because it preserves the blessings that you have. وَكَذَلِكَ يُسَمُّونَهُ الْجَالِبِ. It's also called the jalib. لِأَنَّهُ يَجْلِبُ النِّعَمْ الْمَفْقُودَةِ. Because it brings about the blessings that you don't even have. And so if we want our community to grow, if we want our families to be healthy, if we want to improve our connection with the Quran, we have to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'll end with this practical advice from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When he came into Medina, it summarizes everything that I just said about community, family, and the Quran. When he came to Medina, everyone surrounded him. They're waiting to hear some words. What's he going to set the precedent of? What's the tone of this new community? The first words are the first impression, and it's so important. And they all gathered around him, and the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ spoke. And he gave us timeless advice for community, family, and the Quran. He said, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, not just Muslims, everyone. Afshu salam wa at'imu ta'am. Say salam to one another. Greet one another. Get to know one another. And feed one another. Spend time. Give each other gifts. Bring each other to each other's homes. That's how you form, number one, community. The second thing he said, wasilul arham. Connect your family. Connect your family. Because if you don't have the family and you don't have a strong family, there's no community. The community is built on strong families. And you know what the third thing he said is? وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ تَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةِ بِالسَّلَامِ. And pray at night while people are sleeping. There's your Quran. That's your connection to the Quran. You can be a community activist. That's great. You can do all kinds of things to bring people together in your family. That's great. But if you're not working on yourself, and you're not improving that connection with Allah for yourself, and that's all that we trained on in this Ramadan. God does not change the condition of a people unless they first change their own condition. If you don't do that, there's nothing, there's no family, there's no community. So he says, pray at night while people are sleeping. And if you do all of these things, which is community, family, and your connection with Allah and the Quran, تَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ بِالسَّلَامِ. You will enter paradise free of any problems. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen our community. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us strength in our community. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen our families. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve our families. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a connection with the Quran, to improve our connection with the Quran, that He make the Quran a mercy for us, and He make it a proof for us and not a proof against us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He make the Quran the light rain which revives our hearts. اللهم انفعنا بما قرأنا وجعلنا من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم وعيد مبارك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum. If you arrived during the khutbah, you will need to attend the next and last Eid Salah at 11:45. Once again, the next and last Eid Salah is at 11:45. If you are waiting for the 11:45, please do not block the exits or try going inside. Please let the musalla empty before going inside. Once again, please let the musalla empty before going inside.